Today's story originates from our neighboring nation, China. It unfolds as a tale set on a dark night during a bus journey rife with enigmas, prompting travelers to consider their routes, particularly along this specific path. The story commences just a few kilometers outside Beijing, the esteemed capital of China, at Yuanming Yuan bus terminus located in Yuan. On the night of 14th November 1995 in Beijing, the final bus of the evening, bus 375, departed from the Yanming bus terminus bound for its destination at Jiangxia, also known as Fragrant Hills. The bus carried the driver and a female conductor. The night air was bitterly cold, accompanied by a harsh wind. Making a stop at the south gate adjacent to the summer palace, the doors swung open, welcoming aboard 4 passengers, an elderly woman, a young couple, and a solitary young man. The young couple took seats near the front, just behind the driver, whereas the elderly woman and the young man settled on the opposite side of the bus, close to the door. As the bus navigated through the night, the only sound that filled the air was the hum of its engine. The surroundings were tranquil and secluded, devoid of any other vehicles on the road. After some time, the driver noticed 2 figures on the roadside gesturing for the bus to halt. Bringing the vehicle to a stop, he opened the doors to allow 3 individuals to board. 2 men were seen assisting a third, propping him up by his shoulder. The central figure appeared disheveled with his head bowed, obscuring his face from the view. All 3 were attired in garments reminiscent of the Qing dynasty, their countenances bearing an eerie pallor. The other passengers on the bus were scared and glanced nervously at each other as the driver pulled off and continued down the road. The female conductor tried to calm everyone down by saying, "Don't be afraid. They could just be actors shooting a costume drama in the vicinity. Maybe they got drunk after work and forgot to change their clothes." The elderly woman kept turning around and staring at the 3 strangers who were seated at the back of the bus. There was an eerie silence. None of the passengers said a word. All they could hear was the wind whistling outside. 3 or 4 stops later, a young couple exited the bus. The bus driver and the female conductor were engrossed in a cheerful conversation. The elderly lady suddenly jumped to her feet and hit the young man sitting in front of her. She shouted loudly, causing a commotion and drawing attention to the situation, telling everyone that he had stolen her purse. The young man stood and began arguing with the elderly woman. However, she grabbed him by the collar and insisted that the driver stop at the next station so she could take him to the police. The young man was left speechless by her actions. When the bus came to a halt, the elderly woman forcefully pulled the young man off the bus. They stood and watched as the bus continued on its journey into the night. The elderly woman let off a sign of relief. "Where is the police station?" asked the young man. "There is no police station," the elderly woman replied. "I have just saved your life." "What? How did you save my life?" the young man asked and was confused. The 3 people who were sitting behind were ghosts, the elderly woman explained. "I had a doubt about them since they boarded the bus. I kept looking back at them. It so happened that there was a wind blowing through a window and I saw everything. It lifted their long robes and I saw that they had no legs." The young man stared at the elderly woman in surprise. He started sweating. He couldn't say a word. The elderly woman called the police and told them everything that she had seen. The following day, bus 375 didn't show up at the station. It disappeared along with the driver and the female conductor. The police looked everywhere in the city but couldn't find any sign of it. They interviewed the elderly woman and the young man, but they didn't believe their story and thought they were mentally unstable. That evening, both the Beijing Evening News and the Beijing News covered the story. The elderly woman and the young man were interviewed live on the TV. 2 days later, the police located the missing bus. It was submerged in the Mian Reservoir around 100 kilometers from Fragrant Hills. The bus was found Inside the bus, they found three badly decomposed bodies of the bus driver, the female conductor, and an unknown man. There were a number of other mysteries and several puzzling aspects surrounding this case. Number 1. The bus didn't have enough fuel to reach the Mian reservoir. When the police checked the fuel tank, they discovered it was filled with blood. Number 2. Even though the bodies were found just 2 days after they disappeared, they were severely decomposed. This level of decomposition was unusually fast despite the extreme cold. An autopsy confirmed that no one tampered with the bodies intentionally. How could they decompose so rapidly? Third, the police thoroughly reviewed all the security camera footage at every entrance of the Mian reservoir. Strangely, the bus wasn't captured on any of the recordings. There were no sign of anything unusual. How did the bus reach the reservoir without being seen? Today, approximately 29 years have passed since this incident took place in 1995. However, even today, no one has found answers to these questions. First, who were the three mysterious individuals who boarded the bus? Second, how did the bus manage to travel 100 kilometers without diesel? Could it have run on blood instead? Third, despite the extreme cold, how did the bodies in the bus decompose so quickly within just 2 days after their death? Fourth, why was the bus not captured by any CCTV cameras after the elderly woman and the young man got off the bus? Some people consider this story a mere rumor. On the other hand, many people in China believe in this incident's authenticity, and after this event, route number 375 was declared haunted. Even after many years, this story is heard and told in China. So, this was the story of China's haunted route number 375. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you liked it, please like, comment and share it as much as possible. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my stories. Until next time, take care and stay curious.